Let's take you back then to Krugersdorp, there where my colleague Ofentse Setimo is on standby. Of course, we have been hearing that tensions are indeed running high as community members do call for the total shutdown of illegal mines. A very good afternoon to you, Ofentse. Of course, we understand that tensions are still running high in the West Rand, as we understand. And of course, we've been hearing residents expressing themselves and their grievances. I do see that you're with some residents there while you are crossing to us. Some of them have been saying things like, you know, we live like foreigners in our own country. Is that the sentiment that's generally being shared by many in the area? And I'm sure you'll give them an opportunity to express themselves while we cross. Offensive?
Thank you very much. Well, I can tell you that the tensions are indeed very high where we're coming to you from 4 ways informal settlement here in Mohlakeng. You know, the community are just going around looking for houses where they suspect there could be Zama Zamas, and they're actually torching those shacks that are actually there that they feel could be housing Zama Zamas. But I'm just going to speak to some of the community members just to find out the sentiment on the ground as you were raising it in your intro there. Thank you so much for your time, my brother. Can you just tell us what is the sentiment on the ground, especially against Zama Zamas? We understand that you are busy hunting them down now in terms of the criminality that they commit here, allegedly.
No, thanks, my brother, but let us make it clear. We are not targeting any Basotho people. What we are trying to do is that we are trying to clean this place, especially from the people who are committing crime, especially Zama Zama. We are not fighting with Basotho. Basotho, those who come to us legally, we really appreciate to be with them. They are our sister and our brother. But we are against those who commit crime. We will not tolerate people come from another country and commit crime in our own country. It's something that we are against with. We want to make it clear that we are not against Basotho. We are not xenophobic, but what other Basotho are doing, especially those Zama Zama, are killing our people, are raping our sisters, and then some are illegally. We are not against any person. We are against the people who came to our country illegally and commit crime. And then when they committed crime, there's no way in which you can trace them because they don't have a passport. So we want them to come legally so that we can share whatever we have in our country.
Yes, but just tell me about the life, especially in the evenings here in this particular informal settlement here in 4 ways. How is life here? I understand some people are living in fear because of the criminality.
Yes, you're correct, my brother. Most of the people are no longer enjoy to come here during the night, especially during the night. And it's not something that we will accept as a people of Mohlakeng. So they are scared of Zama Zamas. It's something that we are not going to accept or agree. So we want to create a better relationship with them, so that we can live with harmony and peace. It's something that we want from them. We are not fighting with each other, and then we are not intent to fight with each other. But people are live in fear. It's something that we are against with.
Thank you so much. Well, let me get someone in here. Sir, can you koporo tlhalosetse vele gore situation vele maphodisa na lo tsena go tla go leka go lwantsha crime mo areaeng e?
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Yeah, maphodisa bana lo kena ba try to fix everything, but the way the people are angry, people they're fed up. Enough is enough.
Yes.
Yes. As you saw from last week, the things that was happening in Kagiso, it gave us all a light to stand up and fight for what's good for us as South Africans. We, as South Africans, we like to share everything that we have with anyone, with any neighbor, as it is. But when it comes to a tragedy thing that happens to Krugersdorp last week, every one of us, each and every South African, we were in shock. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. Like now, you are even afraid to send your child at the shop during the day, not at night, during a day. So it's miserable, man. There's no more life here.
Yeah. But what do you feel about the deployment of police, especially in areas here in the West Rand who are close to those unused mines?
I think on my side, policing side is a bit low, because this is something that before a community must enter such kind of this thing. Policing was the first priority member to go and act. So, by the way, as they failed, people, they took everything on their hands. We decided to clean up our streets.
Yeah, thank you very much. My brother, will you just like to add?
I had to ask him about the police. It is difficult to see police during the night, and there is allegedly that police, the same police, are the one who protect Zama Zamas most of the time, because there is an evidence that they eat with them. There is a full evidence that they eat together. They will come here at night and try to protect, but they came here for Zama Zama so that they can get something. I was so disappointed from the commissioner when we were at a hostel. And then he said to us, when the people try to raise questions, he said to them, it seems like you are drunk. Yes, people are drunk because they are not doing anything. So I was so disappointed from the police. It's very difficult to see police, especially during the night here at Mohlakeng. They even closed a police station. They knew this is a crime scene and it's where the crime happened most of the time. But they closed the same police station, and it's difficult to reach a police. When you call them, they will tell us that there is a shortage of van. So we are in danger. That is why we try to take law in our own end. But we are not fighting with anyone. We want to make it clear. We are not fighting Basotho. We are not here to come with Basotho. We are here for Zama Zama and illegally migrant. It seems like the police and the Minister of Home Affairs are failing. Once they are failing, it's a time for us South African, for us people of Mohlakeng, to fight for ourselves, because we can't accept to see or to hear that our sister or our brother is being killed by Zama Zama. The people or the person that you can't even trace at the end. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Well, as you heard there, these are some of the opinions that have been raised by residents who are saying that they are living in fear, and most of the time when the police actually come to this area, they actually just come in to take bribes from some of these Zama Zamas that are living among them. They felt that now, being left to their own devices, they had to now improvise and actually take matters into their own hands. Whereas if I can just move out of shot, you can actually see some of the shacks that have been torched by angry residents. In fact, we were just trying to speak to some of the people that whose shacks have actually been torched, but for some reason they moved before we can actually get an opinion from them. But this is what's actually transpiring on the ground, where there's sporadic attacks on certain shacks where the community suspects there could be Zama Zamas living there.
Ofentse, before we let you go, your guest there was talking about how they believe that, the police and the ministers are indeed failing. And of course, over the weekend, there was this imbizo, this anti-crime imbizo that was held by the minister, and in fact, the premier was also there. And it seems as though something is being done. Is it safe then to now say that there is no faith in that that particular imbizo was not particularly helpful in helping to quell the situation and to sort of address some of those concerns, because that anger is still here, and the fact that you're talking about how they're still torching homes they believe belong to Zama Zamas. So is it safe to say that nothing came out of this anti-crime imbizo over the weekend?
Well, there's a certain attitude towards those imbizos, as that the residents on the ground, in fact, from the information I've gathered, they feel like, there is a reactive police, whereas there is no proactive force in terms of tackling crime prevention. And there would be imbizos every time a high-profile case has happened, or maybe a big number of community members has fatally been affected by criminality. That's when these imbizos actually happen. They are not proactive, whereas an imbizo would actually take place to prevent criminality from taking place. But most of the time they find that these imbizos actually happen to try and pacify the communities which are angered by criminality that goes unabated. So I believe this actually translates to the frustration of communities who feel that all these imbizos are just there to calm them down whenever they get outraged by the criminality that happens. We know that over the past week we've heard different voices where residents of the West Rand have have been saying that issues of Zama Zama related criminality have been raised with the Department of Police, but unfortunately the department have been slow to react. But when we spoke to the police when they were briefing us following that incident, they were saying that ever since March last year they've deployed teams to tackle provinces that are mining provinces, whereas they are supposed to be tackling criminality that's actually happening. But it would seem that following last week's incident, that such a deployment that they've deployed since March last year has not been effective in order to curb criminality on the ground. So in terms of the imbizos, that's the sentiment we're getting on the ground, that they're actually reactive to what transpires, and they are there just to pacify angry residents who are now on the verge of taking matters into their own hands.